All right, grand mornings, grand evening, grand night, depending on when you watch this video. Oh, how you guys doing? This video tonight is about parenting / kids. So for those that do know or didn't know, or the ones that knew, they knew, the ones that don't know that my son, my oldest, and my little one stayed with me. They live with me, right? And the thing was that by them living with me, it was better for the oldest to stay with me, not the young one, because the young was like 10 years old, 11 years old, well, 9 years old when he came to me. And I know a 9-year-old need their mom, but that's another whole different topic. But the 16 going to 17, 18, 19 came live with me. And of course, those are times when you need your father, especially when you're in a separate household. You need your father. Whether you're a female or a guy, you need your father in those times. And the reason why I say this is because a mother cherish or nurture a kid in the younger age, regardless. I don't care who you are, who you thought you were, fathers, unless the mother's not around, period. But the mother nurtures the kid. As they get a little older, that's when the father steps up and teach the man, or the boy to be a man, or he teaches the young lady what type of man she deserves. And a lot of this is missing in our culture, I understand. So anyway, with that being said, my oldest was with me, high school, going into graduation. And when I started the clothing brand, I actually started the brand because of him. Because I wanted something for us to do together as a team and something for us to learn together. But, you know, things happen and it didn't work out like I thought it was going to be. But anyway, he decided to leave when I started my Navy Pier journey. And he left me at the time when I really, really needed him. Because he didn't like my rules, didn't like what I had going on. And the reason why I'm saying this now, because he understands the concept, and it's okay for me to say what really happened because we cool now. So anyway, he left when I started the Navy Pier store, and I really needed him to help me with my young one and help me with the store. And, you know, I just thought that this is how generational wealth get started, because now I have a business and I have my sons with me, and I told them that what we're doing as a team. It's not selfish, it's not just about daddy, it's not about one or the other, it's a team. So anyway, he left me at that moment when I really needed him, and it hurted, but I also had to remember that I had to let my son go because he was 18 going to 19. And sometimes you gotta let the kids go, let them bump their head, and pray that the bump of their head is not as hard to help them recover. So I let him go for like 4 or 5 months. He went back to his mom. Those 4 or 5 months, I don't even really know what was going on with him, because we didn't communicate, and I blame myself too because I should have called. But I was so focused in Navy Pier, which I had to remember that sometimes business is good, but you still got to make sure you take care of your loved ones, you know, and show your loved ones. And anyway, recently he called me and said, "Dad, I want to come up to the job. First of all, I'm proud of you, and I want to come to the job, and I want to talk." I'm like, okay, that's what's up. I was a little nervous when he said he wanted to talk. I'm like, oh, snap. I hope we ain't got no babies coming, or he got to do some jail, six, or some kind of crazy crap. Because that's what I think. And I, unfortunately, I hate to think about the longevity of negativity. But every time he comes to me like that, I always think that because of the association of people he hang with. And that's the first thing that comes to my mind. So anyway, he came up to the job. I was happy to see him. I was trying to keep my composure, not to be sentimental, because my baby was coming to see my baby, if that makes sense. Which My clothing brand is my baby, and my son, my firstborn, my junior, is my baby. He's gonna always be my baby regardless, like it or not. So anyway, come up there, we talked, and he just said he wanted to apologize to me, and he realized everything I taught him does make sense, and I was not trying to be controlling when I told him there's certain things he could and could not do in my household. Just that I was just preparing him, and I told him like, yes, I agree. And I told him another thing too is that I'm not the same person that you talked to 5-6 months ago neither, because I'm more understanding, and I apologize for not coming to you as a man myself to my son. And he said he's got to change. And I told him, like I said, Cliff, to be honest with you, your change is major to our standards, but minor to the average person where we come from, if that makes sense. He said, Dad, I know, but I know how you are. And I said, yes, it's a simple fact that I don't put the standards high, but once I know what our people do, and I'm saying the Pickett's and his last name, what we do is certain things we just don't do. We're not designed like that. And I tell him that all the guys I grew up with, we're not designed like that. So you're doing things that don't coexist with our peers. And we grew up in the ghetto, we grew up in the hood, but we let those things conquer us or influence us. Now, a couple of them, they got chosen, or they let that influence them. Some did, some came back, some left, some never came back. But I was telling my son that we're just not those type of people. We're from the hood, but we have the hood in us, but we don't indulge in a lot of hood activities. It's nothing personal to none of my hood guys, because I love my hood guys. I got hood guys that I would go to war for personally, and they know who they are. Just like vice versa, they'll go to war for me. But we're just not those guys, and they'll protect us because they know. And our OGs that was over us, they protected us because they knew that we were the hood guys, but not those type of hood guys. And me, I protect the ones up under us because we know that we from the hood, but they're not those hood guys. So anyway, we had a good conversation. We shared some tears. He shared tears. I was sincere with him, and it felt good for my son to come to me as a man on his own and let me know that he loved me, and everything I taught him, he actually took heed to. And being a parent, that's what it's all about. If you install certain jewels into your son or daughter, and they bump their head, but in that midst of bumping their head, they acknowledge that you taught them or said something to them, that shows a lot. That means that they did listen, regardless you don't think they did listen. And it's an honor for them to take heed to it. Just because they don't take heed to it right then and there, you can't judge them for that. And like I told him, I was very judgmental about everything I said and did with him. But with that being said, I was honored that my son came to me and said, Dad, everything you taught me to this day, I took heed to, and I apply it to everything I do right now in life. And I know I need to change for the better, and I love him for that. That's a good feeling because it's a generational educational thing, because I got it from my mother and I shared it with my son, and now he's going through it. So that's a beautiful thing. So with that being said, my thing was tonight was about parenting. And if you have teenagers or older adults that's your kid that don't understand why they do certain things, or they do certain things a certain type of way, long as you taught them the righteous way to be, you did your job, so you can't feel bad. All you can do is make sure you're there when they bump their head and they come back to you. And if they don't come back to you, they're not ready yet. And let's just pray that nothing drastic happened to them. So with that being said, peace and blessings. I love you guys like always. And the reason why I make these videos is to keep the positivity up within our culture and other cultures too, to let other cultures know that our culture is just not what they see on TV, when they read the newspaper or social media. So, and I stress that because now I'm being more enlightened with my culture, and I have other people that I talk to that enlighten me more about my culture. And I've talked to other people in other cultures which I admire, and I want our culture to be recognized and to come together. So with that being said, peace and blessings. I love you. If no one else told you they love you, I do. And I'll talk to you again. Peace and blessings.